Share my screen. I think I need to let a couple more people in here. Well, we'll see. I'll give it a minute. All right. Well, good morning. Destined for great wealth. I really do define wealth as a state of consciousness, that a wealthy mentality in terms of, being just grateful and, seeking joy. So much of what I've been listening to and been coming in is, that, we came here to be happy. We came here to celebrate joyfully. And anything else that's not that is just really, the miscreation and allowing, external things to own us, allowing that ego mind to create more pain and suffering, and I have been learning some life lessons lately about this. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. If you're watching this on a recording, my name is Carlos Gonzales. This is just a very informal but formal way for us to be connected and really get ourselves into the right mindset for what it is that we're ultimately trying to do, which is I'll just speak for me, is make a difference in people's lives. And that can be spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, all of it, right? Because we don't get to really live an optimized life without that. So every morning, my go-to right now are ice baths. That's my positive mindset loop. And then as soon as I get out of that, now this morning I haven't done it yet because I had someone come over early this morning, but I got out of my ice bath and kind of got prepared for you fine folks. And when I get done with this, I'll go do my breath work. And I definitely meditate when I'm in the ice bath for 7 minutes, but you have to get through that. But I'll go do my affirmations and really get my frequency up before I tackle the day. I already talked about this, and I believe everybody on this call wants to make a difference in the world, and that's what we can do with this technology. Another amazing success story, a gal, Val just called me this morning. He's not on the call, he's on the road, but he had put a machine in this gal's house about just over a year ago. And he went back and saw her for the first time. She's lost 120 pounds. And, I've heard so many of these stories. Not everybody gets those results, but some people do. So my dates here. Okay, so these dates you got to ignore, sorry. But we're here every Monday for you. So, this is a Monday. It's just an accountability thing. There's a variety of topics. Today we're going to talk about pre-filters and maybe a little bit of keeping your machine clean. This I do need to talk about. And I had a whole bunch of people. I know Chris Boland, thank you for being on the call, that I really don't want, please guys, I'm always authentic with you guys about where we're at. I really don't want this, and I know I misspelled Linwood on this flyer. On the main flyer, it's not misspelled. I really don't want this event to be a flop for us, but the Washington market is just, it's I haven't spent a lot of energy or time on it in many, many years, although we do have many distributors up there. And, Enagic is promoting the event, but we really do want to, put our best foot forward and make a difference with people in that market and connect. And so that's going to be a focus for me over the next 2 weeks. And today, even, to reach out to, the people that I feel, could benefit. And, it kind of basically says, this is perfect event for people who, are restarting again or thinking about restarting again, or, an absolutely perfect event for someone who's looking for a true career opportunity or career path. So it's at the Linwood Embassy Suites. It's Sunday. It's 1 to 4. If you want to attend, fly in for this, do this. We are going to have a dinner that Saturday night, all sponsored. And then we will be live tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. For our web class. So we will be also on this Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific. So those are two opportunities, good exposures. And I do have an updated recorded web class. So I really do want to, before we move into pre-filters, I really do want to put a little bit of an emphasis on, what conversations are you having? Whether you're doing it through DMs, text, through voice messaging, through audios. What conversations are you having with people that you want to make a difference with? And, for me, it's usually, 30% of those conversations are around the business and recruiting. 30% is usually around just retail, people that want the best of everything. And it just seems to be about 30% is around people that are dealing with some type of health challenge. I often say we're not in the business of saving sick people, even though we can, my business has always kind of been like that. It just, for me, I seem to do better when I have that balance, and I do share a lot of water. And so, but I really encourage everybody on the call, 1 to 3 people this week that you're committed to moving through a process of, because ultimately nothing happens, you guys, unless an order gets processed. That's just the facts. So, nobody's health gets better, nobody's finances get better, you don't get paid, we don't get paid. They don't take responsibility for themselves by investing in this technology. They don't improve, their eco footprint. Nothing happens until an order gets processed. So really setting that intention early in the week that, hey, I want to process 1 to 3 new orders this week, and for some of you, it's 1 to 3 orders a day. For me, that's kind of my wheelhouse, 1 to 3 orders a day. And you can do the numbers with the pay plan. That's over 100,000 a month in commissions if you're doing that. I mean, this is not rocket science what we do in high ticket, high commissions. We get to reap the rewards of making a difference, with a quality product, quality people, great support. So if you owned a restaurant, would you open it every day? I'm going to keep driving this home. We have to be causing the matter and picking up the phone and reaching out and having new conversations. And then if your circle right now of conversations that you're having with people is not fulfilling, find new ones. At least getting 1 to 3 new people on the water a week, 1 to 3 new people into a web class, 1 to 3 new people watching a video, 1 to 3 new people on here. This is a great place for people to come in, even if they haven't even started. We're real people in real time doing this business. We're all up on a Monday morning, trying to be our best version of ourselves, or hopefully a better version. That's my goal today, to be a better version of myself today than I was yesterday. And so here we are. You are the restaurant. So that's the good news and the bad news, because you don't have food that's going to spoil, but you've got to open yourself for business, is my point. For me, causes and conditions, what are my causes and conditions to my intolerable situations? It's always going to be mindset with me. I'm 50 years old. I know myself pretty well, that if I'm not, doing the things that I know I need to do on a daily basis to have the life that I want, then I find myself in intolerable situations. And it is mental, and that's the thing. This water, this program, everything we do, all the personal development, creates that positive mindset loop. Okay. If you are not currently listening to, watching, the Blas W. Cardos podcast, I recommend one of these. I would recommend you watch the most current and recent. It's always a good idea. And then go back to number 1 if you're new. So start at number 1, listen to number 1, And then later in the week, when they release a new one, watch the most recent, and you'll get through those within just a few months. And, that's like 2 a week. And if you want to do more, you can. But the real meat is going to be between like episode 3 and 15. If you listened to between episode 3 and 15 and you shared between episode 3 and 15 with people you want to make a difference with in business, life, they'll join your program in your business. They'll buy from you. I mean, it's that complete and good. Sometimes they're filling in holes with client success stories and other things, but there's a stretch between about 3 and 15, 16, somewhere in there that is, and beyond, that is really going to make a difference in your confidence, what you're doing, understanding the industry. So the reality is that, if you have any type of business, you've got to cash out. You've got to balance the register. You've got to take inventory. You've got to take stock, whether you're doing it online or offline. And so again, the amount of touches, new conversations you're having, authentic new conversations, share with people. Don't be salesy, just authentically share with people about what this water's done for you, who you've associated yourself with. Do a good job of edifying myself and the people that have introduced you to this. Edify Enagic, our time in business. The company's getting ready to celebrate 50 years. And then ask for help. We're here. And if I try to market, 50 or 100 machines to people that I have not qualified, as people that I would like to work with, or people that I feel have the means or the desire to improve their life, then I'm going to get a real mixed bag of results. So I am real responsible with qualifying people who I share what I do with, who I share some of the health things that I do. I'm really responsible these days for the social circles that I participate in, and the businesses that I patronize, and the business owners that I patronize, because I am looking for mutually, I'm looking for relationships that really are mutually beneficial to me. And it's a really great place for you to kind of evaluate if you're not getting the support in your home-based business from your social circles, from your friends, from other business owners in the areas that you live in. You want to find new ones. There we have it. Cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit about pre-filtration. I'll open it up for questions. We don't go on too long on Mondays, but I wanted to kind of get a little bit of something going there for myself and others. Okay, so the Enagic machine, the way it's designed and the filter that comes with it is designed for, it's a global machine. And we actually have more contaminants in North America than even in other places in the world. So I do recommend for everybody that buys a machine through me directly or indirectly, a pre-filtration system. And I use Ion Medics, and I use Ion, why can't I think of Ion filters?
Faucet.
Ion faucets.
Yep.
I use Ion faucets because of the quality, very low maintenance, and then we can custom build those for different municipalities. So, whether it be a well water, whether it be a conventional municipal source, or whether it be other types of contaminants that are in the water. There are other pre-filtration people out there, companies out there. The 3-stage that's kind of my go-to is, and there's more than one way to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. But in most cases, in most municipalities, because of what we're dealing with the amount of contaminants, the Ion Medic, and then the Ion Ultra, and then the anti-scale. And what that does is that allows for the machine to stay really clean. In most cases, these machines do not even need to be cleaned, but every year or 2 years. That pre-filter setup's going to last about 2 years, roughly, depending on how much water you're sharing. But if you're sharing a ton of water, maybe 18 months. But for most people and most consumers, it's 2 to 2.5 years before you have to change those out. You'll do a machine filter once a year. But what that's doing is that is cleaning up anything in the water that would be objectionable so that you have a perfect source water to go through your Enagic machine. It's leaving all the minerals. One of the nice things that the anti-scale is doing is reducing some of the hardness for the water. So if you live in Colorado, parts of Utah, obviously California, Arizona, Texas, we have harder water. Typically, we have hard water all throughout North America, but in Washington, some parts of Vancouver, some parts of the United States, North America, we don't have hard water, but for the most part, there's hard water everywhere. You can also use a KDF in place of the Ion Ultra, which is not a bad way to go, but depending on where you're located, the KDF is not going to get some of the things that the Ion Ultra is getting. And we can go into specifics as to why or what, but that's just a little bit on pre-filtration. In 90% of the machines I sell, I'm recommending that 3-stage, the Ion Medic, the Ion Ultra, and then the anti-scale. Many cases we're doing the Ion Medic and then the KDF Bone Shard 55. Sometimes people don't, maybe they're vegan or they have specific, I don't know how to say it, animal beliefs. So they don't want anything related to animals. So that's why there's a few ways to do it. That's why some people don't like the Bone Shard KDF. So, but, ultimately it's a sustainable, it's a way of sustaining and using the whole animal. I mean, we're using the whole thing, right? So, so that's a little bit there. So just switching gears. Now, I always tell people this up front. So the main reason why I don't recommend, unless you're doing like a water conditioner for the pipes, to reduce scaling on the pipes, I usually don't recommend whole home pre-filtration. And the reason is because 70% of the water that comes into the home goes down the drain. And so you're filtering, and it's quite expensive too. And you're filtering, 70% of the water that's going to end up down the drain. So people then will say, well, what's tap water good for? I said, well, it's great for washing your car, flushing your toilet, doing your dishes, But in terms of the 30% of the water that comes in contact with us, that comes into the home, that we're bathing in and cooking and drinking, that's why we're considered end-use specialists. And that's why we have our Enespa shower technology that also allows us to, have healthy showers. Like when I do my ice bath, I'm filling it with Enespa cold water before I dump in the ice. So it's a really healthy thing and it's healing and it's anti-inflammatory too. So if you do want a whole home water conditioner, Aaron, I sent you the Springwell. They make a combo. The one I sent you is just their filter for like a 7, I think it's up to 5 to 7 room house, might be bathrooms, but you can play around on their website. They have a conditioner too, which I would recommend if you're going to do that whole home system, do the conditioner. But it's just the reality is if you wanted to do something top of the line, water conditioner, pre-filter the whole house, it's $5 to $6 grand to do it like way top end, and you still don't have a water machine, right? To restructure and put hydrogen into the water. So that's why maybe going like with something like a Springwell where they have a water conditioner, it's around $1,500. Those are like, they're more cost effective. You don't service them ever. They're a 10-year lifespan. They're like 1 million gallons of water and then you throw them away. Even the ones that are 5 or 6 grand that say they're serviceable, they're not. So they usually stay with the house. So, it's something you're investing in the house. If you get that installed with a plumber, as you'll see pictures, most people are not moving those or reinstalling them somewhere else. So it's like, you got to say, okay, I'm going to designate this 2 to 5 to 6 grand to the house, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, that's kind of the reality of it, is 70% of the water's going down the drain. So why are we filtering that? So that's kind of why, you know, our machines and our shower systems and everything are serviceable, maintenanceable, transportable, you know, they move with you. And then ultimately, if you did want to do a water conditioner for the house or whatnot, Springwell's got good stuff, free shipping. You can call and get a 5% discount coupon code. You need a licensed plumber to install that. I think the last one that I did for someone, it was like $400 for the plumber to come install it. So that's a little bit on how I handle pre-filtration, because a lot of people are in that space, right? If they're shopping for a water machine, they're also shopping for, maybe that's an option, or they're thinking, oh, I'm going to do the whole house. And I'm like, okay, two things. 70% of the water goes down the drain, right? That you're filtering. And the other thing is you can never determine the condition of the pipes. So even if someone's got a house that's 18 months old, there's going to be mold, bacteria, fungus, all sorts of things within the pipes that has occurred. And so when you're pre-filtering before the pipes, we're not addressing any of those objectionable things.
No biting.
If we're end use specialists like we are, then we are addressing the condition of the pipes. And anything that could be coming. So through those pipes as a result of just time. And I've seen even new construction houses, you know, 6 or 8 months old, that have stuff in their pipes, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, yeah, so I'm going to open it up for questions, comments. It could be about anything, online, offline.
Hi, Carlos. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I have a quick question. Nice presentation, by the way. Thank you for such important information. So here is Mike. I have problems with connection. So if I get to see me, I lose the connection. So that's why it's my
Sure.
pick on that. Okay, so I got a deposit today, some money in my account, and the only thing, nobody send me money, right? So the only thing I'm think of, it's when I make the first sale myself, right? For me, uh you get paid too, or is going just to upliner?
Yeah, no, we all benefit from the direct sales multi-level portion of the business. So Paul benefits, I benefit, people above me benefit. Absolutely. You benefit.
So you think that is from there because it's impending, and the banker, she couldn't tell me where the money come from because it says pending. So maybe tomorrow or Wednesday will be clear. But I took advantages of this meeting, and I ask you because maybe you know. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate
Cool.
you.
Awesome.
Matthew, how you doing, buddy? You've been doing a bunch of posts. How's that going?
I've been doing good. It's going good. You know, I know a lot of like fringe people, so I think it really works well for the fringers. Like the people that are on the fringe, if you give them some extra information, something eventually clicks, and they start to, like, either if they're interested, they really want to do it, or if they're maybe like weren't sure if they're interested, I've got some new people coming to my house to at least talk and see it. So I feel like, you know, I'm just in the beginning stages, but kind of like feeling out, like you said, like trying to keep talking, keep contacting people in the beginning is really something I'm working on. Just being like, okay, I can be consistent in that. I think the biggest thing I keep hearing from other people as well, and just different places, is that you don't help anyone until they purchase a machine. So no one's being helped, including them. They're not being helped until they get the machine. And this is like, as I go and meet with other people, I feel like that's so clearly. It's just like, even if you put a filter system in, like, sure, that's great, but you're not getting anywhere. Not that you're not getting anywhere, but you really need this.
Yeah, and also I want to comment on that. So I often have people that say, "Oh, I just put an RO system in my house, or I just put a filter in my house, or we've got this type of filter." I always compliment them, like, that's good. Like, I respect, not respect. I don't usually use the word respect, but I appreciate the fact that you're doing something to improve the quality of the water in your house, and I'm would consider myself an expert in that field. So if you ever have any questions, or maybe want to take it to the next level, because it is hard if they just did that, to tell them you just wasted $500 or whatever, $1,000. Can't really do that. You're not gonna win them over that way. So you have to just say, hey, I appreciate that you're like me, that you want a good quality water, and if you ever want to learn more about maybe the next level, I can help you with that. But I know you're not necessarily talking about people that just did it. You're talking about people that have something and then they know more. And Berkeys, you'll run into people that have Berkeys and swear by them, right? And
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, I have a friend. I've known her for 5 years, and she's old. She's a 75, and we used to do some like training, different type of training together. And then she asked me if I could come over to help her with technology stuff, like learning how to use Spotify and
Sure.
sharing stuff on Zoom. And so I just brought a gallon of water, and right away, because she has no filtration, and she sees a naturopath, so she's been in like the health world for a very long time, but still like the water in her, it got, when I was there and she was showing me, and this is why universe all worked out, but her water was so clogging, it was clogging her faucet so bad that the water pressure, is poor. And then she's like showing me her plants, and like her plants have all this stuff on it. So you never know too. And like, I think that's the other thing. It's like, I just bring a couple gallons to everyone I go see for whatever reason. I don't know. I try to find a way.
Yeah. Get the water in the people's hands. Get the information in people. And, remember that there's a large percentage of people that they're not concerned about water or health, but the ones that are, those are our people, and that's our job, to make a difference with them. So, Ronnie, how are we doing?
Hi, I'm good. Great question, Matthew. In fact, I had seen some family over the weekend, and I was looking for something to drink before our dinner, and I saw there was some sweet tea. I said, "Oh, is there anything unsweet?" And this family member said, "Oh, it's sweetened with stevia or whatever." And I said, "Oh, that's okay. I just don't, care for anything sweet." And I said, "I've got water in my car. I'll go get it. I always have a bottle, a cup, everything. I'm loaded down. I'm ready for being stranded on the side of the road if necessary." And anyway, and then of course they say, "Oh, we've got good water. It's just like yours." And that's when I get to a point where I'm like, "Oh, it's so not like mine." And I think there's a misconception of alkaline water is alkaline water, as we all know, and anything that comes to your house already bottled up, does not have the, active hydrogen in it, because doesn't it dissipate within 48 to 72 hours after being poured?
Yep.
So anyway, and I know family, it's like the touchiest, topic. And sometimes I'm just like, I'm just going to drink my water and avoid the conversation.
Yeah.
And that's just it.
Yeah, especially around family. Be intentional. That goes back to who you're going to choose to market to. Be intentional on who you're going to try and market to, and who you're not, and make it feel. It's got to feel good. I don't talk to anybody about it that doesn't feel good.
That's right. And I think I ended up by saying, well, it's certainly better than any bottled water or tap water. And I just left it at that.
Yeah.
But I have had several people who looked at the technology, and then they said their natural doctor recommends Berkey. And I said, "Oh my goodness, that's almost just like a step up from a Brita." Right. I don't know if that was a fair statement for me, but I said, "Oh, there's so much more that you could be, benefits you could be getting." And they say,
Well,
I'm
that's
so-
why it's more education. Unfortunately, for some people, it's just the 3 to 5 exposures and more education and following up. And I mean, it is kind of like our job to do that. And so, yeah, I run into a Berkey every now and then, but I pretty much explain it about the same way that I said. That's great. It's good. It's certainly improved, better than not, doing anything with your water. But in terms of the real objectionable things like arsenic and the microplastics and pharmaceuticals and forever chemicals, radioactive materials, it's not doing that. So, and that's typically where I'll get, oh, okay. So how does your system work, or why? And, and the other thing too is, with our technology and our systems, I mean, they're designed to outlive us, so if you take care of it, having something that's serviceable, maintenanceable, can be cleaned, taken care of,
Right.
that's going to perform for decades for us. So
Well, and I also like what you said about, I'm not familiar with Springwell pre-filters because we had been talking about getting a whole home system here, and Val said, you don't really need one. However, the water that comes out of our bathroom faucet, we're in a different house now anyway. The smell is so bad. I almost think our hot water heater might need to be cleaned out, and I'm not against
sulfur.
Oh yes, it is heavy sulfur,
Yeah.
but nowhere else in the house.
Oh, yeah, it could be your hot water. That could be. Yeah, you can play around on Springwell's site, and you can call them and ask them about sulfur specific or water conditioner specific. They're pretty good.
I had even thought about just installing a pre-filter under the bathroom sink.
You can.
I think that would be the easiest thing,
Yeah.
and change it out every year.
Yeah, or 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Chris,
Good to
how we
see
doing?
you.
Good. Hey, quick question. What is a Berkey?
Oh, it's like a rock. It's like, okay. So it has a variety of different filters in it. It's definitely a carbon. It's got a carbon filter, removes chlorine, removes some lead. But it's basically gravity fed.
Okay.
And then there's certain rocks and minerals in there that help to potentially remineralize the water. But it's not
Okay,
in there
interesting.
very long to do that. It would need more time exposed. to do
Okay.
that.
Also, have you guys ever tested the Brita water, and then tested it against the zero water?
Well, the zero
It's
removes everything. So
yeah,
zero
and it
makes
makes
it
it
really
acidic.
acidic. And then,
Yeah.
and I don't know that it removes everything, but it removes all the minerals for sure. So it's probably not removing everything, but the way it is designed, it creates a very acidic water. A Brita's just doing chlorine and a little bit of lead.
Yeah.
It improves taste. Yeah.
I think last time I tested it too, it came out slightly acidic,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
But no, going well. So looking forward to I want to crack in the class this week.
Does
So
anyone have anything they want to comment, questions? Go for it, Matt.
Quick question. Maybe you have I feel like as I've started the social media endeavor, and I know you said for you too, it's not your maybe quote unquote expertise, but maybe like and watch a lot of what other people do, but like the balance between, like you kind of mentioned this a little bit or said something about it, like the balance between like selling or like really like kind of pushing it and trying to like I don't know, create content or like organically create something that is like not necessarily people are going to feel like, oh, I'm in your face all the time, or I'm trying to constantly push this down your throat.
Yeah. So organic, like doing it organically on Facebook or Instagram, is like knocking on the same 10 doors every day, expecting them to buy, right? Because just the way the algorithms work. That's why learning ad set pixels, and you want to create a personal brand online, whatever that is, you, Matt, whatever you are, right? Whatever your message is, health, wellness, well-being, spiritual, whatever that is, because you want people to know that you're a real person. But ultimately, the real play for you online is going to be learning pixels, ad set, and really learning how to broaden and brand and market yourself. There was an incredible training on this. It was last Monday that I was on, but Online Empires does a good job of covering everything on that. And, very simple ways of writing ads. They actually have a training where they write an ad in their Facebook group. You can find it. If I find it later today, I'll send it to you. But it's basically, they write the ad for you. And so, but for right now, just creating content and getting in front of the camera, and, you have permission to go out and suck, and just go out and do it is going to be, it's going to be what is required for you to do the next step. It's like, you technically don't even have to ever post on Facebook or Instagram, or even have a following to utilize Pixel's retargeting, ad set, and the actual sales funnel. You can literally never do anything personally. Like, you could literally advertise on TikTok and get a lot of traction, which we're starting to do, and not even have a TikTok account. You don't even have to have an account. So there's a lot of people that do nothing in, organically. They're completely behind the scenes, but they know how to make the engine work. They know how to make the plate spin, so.
Yeah, pretty much spend more time. Don't spend too much time in that world. And well,
Right.
it's useful, but it's better to
Yeah.
divert
Pick
energy.
one or two things. What Blas told me, pick one or two things. So if you want to do YouTube, or you want to do Instagram Reels, or you want to do Facebook, or pick two, TikTok, whatever it is. Pick two platforms, whatever it is, and pick one thing on that platform and get good at it, and you'll get traction. And I'm all over the place on mine. My whole world's getting revamped here in the next week. And I'm kind of just picking two and going with it, and really cranking up my ad spend and everything. So you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it all. Does anyone have anything else before we complete for the day? Hope that was helpful with pre-filters and all that good stuff. The machine by math. This is important for you to know too. I'm going to share my screen on this one. This will only take a second, but by math, the machine is removing. So let's just say we had a non-pre-filtered Enagic machine, and this is an electrolysis engine or chamber. And what we have coming to, when the water is split, anything that would be oxidizing or acidic, and oxidative would be chemicals, would technically be discharged on a clean machine through the acidic tube. So there also is a lot of proof that through the electrolysis process, and you can test this if you ever make 2.5 and 11.5 water, the 2.5 water comes out warm. And that's because of the disassociation and the amount of power it takes to disassociate. And so there is a burning off or a disassociation of the chemical composition through the process of electrolysis, which is why you see also too, when you restructure water, contaminants, actually it's proven, will be held within the water and pass all the way through the organism. So even if it was a contaminated water, it wasn't pre-filtered, using an Enagic machine, there's an incredible health benefit, because technically the contaminants are not being deposited into the body. And by the science of it, anything that would be objectionable is technically getting discharged through the acidic water. However, we do want to be able to use that water on our skin for our plants. and have it be free of a lot of those contaminants. So pre-filtering is ultimately the way to go. But if you didn't have a pre-filter, that's why you see people without pre-filter still get crazy good results. Plus, the other thing too, the machine's got to be cleaned a lot without a pre-filter. It's got to be cleaned probably, 3 times a year at least. So,
When you say cleaned, is that like deep cleaned, or is that like
just
the?
the e-cartridge.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, if
And-
you're not going to clean the machine with the e-cartridge, then you need to probably get it deep cleaned at least once a year.
Yeah, okay. And another quick question, because I've been getting like out of the filter. It's the water's pre-filtered, and I clean the machine like once a month, but still like get some buildup of like maybe it's calcium or like
Scaling,
some.
yeah. So it's ionized calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. And so if you're getting that scaling, that's where an anti-scale pre-filter, if you don't have that, would be really beneficial because it'll reduce that or almost eliminate it entirely. I'll send you my email when I get off the phone that I sent Aaron. But the other thing too is your machine might need like a back-to-back e-clean or a deep clean if you're getting that type of scaling. But
It's-
typically you're going to see it with when you don't have an anti-scale
Okay.
everywhere. Doesn't matter where.
Yeah. Anti-scale. I'll have to look. Yeah, I guess I'll look it up and.
Yeah. Well, good guys, awesome. Hopefully everybody can get a new invitation, make some invitations for tomorrow night's web class. Again, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Mountain. Get some fresh new body spaces on this project, and then reach out to me this week. Anything you need, okay? Anytime. All right.
Cool.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Carlos.
much, guys. Have a blessed Monday and a very
Thank
productive
you.
week. Yes.
Thank you, Carlos.
You bet, Brownie. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
joining,
thank you.
guys.
Hey,
Nice to
hey,
meet you,
Carlos.
Aaron. Take
Hey,
care.
Carlos.
Okay.